Good morning. Welcome to Sunday, which is our seedling show and tell day on our group Facebook page, Australian Bromeliad Community. Today is a day where we, as growers who like to hybridize or grow from seed that's either been collected themselves or has been purchased or obtained via clubs or seed banks, we like to grow our own different hybrids. And so we undertake this process, which takes many years, but it's very rewarding. And so I'm just going to show you a few that we have currently growing and just talk about the different ages of a few of them, and then we'll go from there. So we'll start with some of the very easy to grow and quite easy to obtain seed, which are Neoregelias. So these Neoregelia seedlings that I'm showing you here, these ones were planted 12 months ago now. So back in March of 2021. So they are a good 18 months old nearly. And from here they will then be plucked out and they will be put into their own individual pots when they're a little bit older. At the moment they're getting plenty of feed, regular slow release added to their cocoa peat fibre that they're planted into, and so they're currently being fed up really well. This little lot here is doing a little bit less well, starting to pale coloured leaves. So those ones are not getting enough food. So they're going to be selected out, and I'm going to start feeding those a little bit more frequently with a liquid feed just to keep them going as well. Now there's also some Varecia. These ones again are a little bit older. These Varecia, which are rose blush hybrid, they were planted in April of 21 and we're now in November of 22. So they're starting to grow quite well, being plucked out into little individual trays where they've been separated so they can continue to grow. Now these are all covered, these containers, at night time, just to prevent them having any kind of animals coming along and chewing on them. And during the day the greenhouses are closed, so we can avoid having any sort of butterflies or caterpillars munching away on these guys. Now there are some species. These are Halasium. This is the lavender variety. And these ones here are also 12 months old, and they grow on a stolon, so they're very delicate to handle when they're quite young, but as they mature they develop a little bit of a root system, and so they're a little bit easier to manage, those ones. Now Alcantarias, there's a lot of Alcantaria hybrids here. I think I did about 50 or 60 or so of them and sent some seeds out across the country as well. So these particular ones here are a hybrid that I did. So going back 2 years when I was doing the pollinization of this particular variety, and then collecting the seed 9 months later and then sowing it, and then growing it on. So this seed is now 12 months old, planted in August of 21. So yep, 12 months old. And these are a combination of Glasuriana and a vinicolor as well. And they're already starting to get a little bit of red across their bases, so I'm hoping that that has actually been a successful hybridization. We'll still need to do some growing, obviously, but they do grow quite quickly. From here they get fed lots. Alcantarians love lots of water and lots of food, so you can't give them enough. I'm about to turn on the irrigation. It's been a very hot day. Now these are my Lorenalecta, which are a Neoregelia, and these ones I did a video of quite some time ago when I was hybridizing them, and I hybridized them and planted these seeds back in February of 2020. So these guys here are over 2 year old. They are in individual cells and they're doing really well. So again, they just need lots of food and water. Now if we look behind, we'll see some bilbergias. So I hybridize a lot of bilbergias, and these are bilbergia seedlings here that are 12 months old, and they're in what we call community pots at the moment. So they're getting a good size to them, about 2 inches tall, these ones here. And these ones are 12 months old, but I'm still not ready to put them into individual or separate them out into plugs. Their foliage is still quite soft, so it really, at this time of year coming into summer, wow, in Queensland, that's definitely not something I want to be doing. They would just be eaten alive by the sun. So they will remain in the protected shade house, which is under 80% black shade cloth. You guys get full sun. So there's lots of little babies here, different kinds, and this process I've been doing now for several years. Now looking behind, you see an array of colour, different ones of bilbergias. These bilbergias are my hybrids once again. They've just had their names applied to them. So they've been culled once again from 30 or 40 of the grexes that I had growing, and selected a few different ones out of the grexes, and then given them each a name. And that's the fun part. So this one here, for example, that's Coral. And this one here is Rosie. This one here, with all of its curls, that's my Apple Swirl. And this dark one with the mottled spots on it, that's my Stargazer. And this one here is Curious, because I am quite curious about this little guy. It's only quite a small plant, it's got some nice coloration. So this is the fun part when we get to name our plants. This is Loritz. This one here is Janita. This one here is Cracker. This one here is Double Trouble. So we get to name our plants, we get to register them and continue to grow them and produce enough of them. I have literally hundreds to go through and start putting their names on them now that they're starting to show their colour and to grow quite well. It's now a matter of going through them and selecting which ones we're going to continue to grow. These plants now are approaching the 3-year marker for the bigger ones at the back, 2-year marker for these guys. So they grow very rapidly from these little guys to these little guys. It's a very rapid transformation once it begins. So it's great to be watching them grow. So for those people who are hybridizing or growing from seed, definitely post your questions or anything that you want to know on our Facebook group. I'm about to turn on the irrigation in this shade house because it hasn't been done yet today. While those lids are off, everything's getting a really good drink because we've had another scorcher here. So definitely keep an eye on your seedlings. It can very quickly turn from a lot of years' work to completely shriveled up and dried out. So definitely keep up the water on your plants at the moment and yourselves, and stay well hydrated. Happy gardening. Bye now.